Buy $137,000 in cash flow for $45,000. You get a loan from the SBA with 10% down and buy one of the top 10 music stores in Arizona. Purchase price $450,000, down payment $45,000. You'll take on $405,000 worth of debt. And now you got to make sure that you can pay the debt from the cash flow. The debt payments are going to be about $6,100 per month, and you're going to have $63,000 left over for the year after debt payments. Next, identify the potential red flags. The music store isn't very scalable with the current model. After that, identify the strengths. You get $200,000 in inventory, and it could be a passion business. Go to your team to underwrite. This means your accountant, your lawyer, your equity partner, and maybe a due diligence company. Buy this business, watch the cash flow roll in as you make plans to increase it through ancillary services. So when I'm thinking about this music store, it can be an exciting purchase actually. With that $200,000 in inventory, you might be able to take out an equipment loan on that and get into the business with a pretty small amount of money down, if not $0. Some questions I have about this business is, okay, so it's a music store, I'm getting equipment, I'm selling equipment, I have these musicians. What would an education component look like? And education is just such an easy thing to add to a business, because if you could add lessons where you're, profiting $20 an hour on the lesson and you can fill up the week, that's an $800 a week for one employee in profit. And, it looks like $3,200 a month. $3,200 a month is, $40,000 a year. You get 2 employees, you're bringing in $80,000. You get 3, 4, 5 employees, you're bringing in another $200,000. $200,000 EBITDA times 2.5 is $500,000. So you can, with 5 employees, increase the value of the business $500,000 just from the profit that they would bring, and even more so if you can profit $25, $35 an hour and fill up those hours. So what would that education component look like, and could you train people in music or in repairing their equipment or in whatever to make sure that you have recurring revenue? So the recurring revenue could look like music lessons they're paying for, which I know people pay for music lessons. How could you partner with people to bring them people who want to do music lessons and increase your cash flow even more? Or either partner with people to bring them people who want to do music lessons, or get people who want to do music lessons, right? Either way, it can go back and forth. Or what would a monthly recurring revenue stream look like from an education component? Can you get them to subscribe to something monthly where it's like maybe they get exclusive access to artists that they like, and they get kind of to come to test exclusive equipment. So exclusive access to artists, test exclusive equipment, access to exclusive events, and then they get some turnkey lessons to help them learn music. And these lessons will literally give them the activities that will take them from beginner to intermediate to, as close to professional as you can get. Like, if you can get an education component going like that for $40, $50 a month, that's fairly turnkey, and you build a community around that, you can get another $50,000, $100,000 in recurring revenue just from, 1,000 people. And if it's the top 10 music store, I'm sure you can get 1,000 people to join it. And if not 1,000 people in your local area, you can definitely expand this across the nation and get to a bigger audience. So just exploring the education component for a business like this, because right now the red flag was it's not scalable. I just don't see myself buying up a bunch of music stores and selling the music equipment. But maybe that's because I like to invest in people's education and helping them with their dreams and goals so much. So maybe I'm a little bit biased there. The other question I have is, what determines how long I hold the inventory? Like, is there sufficient demand for all the inventory I have? There's $200,000 in equipment, and while that's a green flag because it will allow me to get into the business with $0 out of pocket through an equipment loan, why is there so much inventory? Like, you just have to hold that much inventory all the time and it turns over really slow? Or is there an excess of inventory because the client demand is kind of decreasing? What's going on there? Can I sell my inventory to other music stores at a break-even price? Like, what does this cash flow system actually look like? I think I have done a lot of business work in services, so I understand the cash flow of business through a service business, but through a business that holds inventory, it's a little bit harder for me. So what determines how long you hold the inventory? And then the other question is, what are the other music shops doing in cash flow? This is a top 10 music shop, and it's doing like 170, 180,000, 190,000. I forget, maybe it's 160,000, but it's not doing a ton. In fact, yeah, maybe it's like 130, 140,000. Anyway, it's in that low six-figure range. I'm like, it's a top 10 music shop in the area, so like, what are the other ones doing? Like, are the top 1 and 2 at like 1.5 million profit? And I'm just like, not even competing? Or are they all sitting there around 500 in revenue, 200 in profit, 300 in profit? So I just want to know how far I am from the top, and then a list of the other music shops so I can try to acquire them and get a bigger music shop with more cash flow that can invest more into marketing and more into that community aspect. So what determines how long I hold the inventory? Is the demand still there? And what are the other music shops doing in cash flow? I want to get a gauge of where I'm at in comparison to my competition. And then, are they available for purchase? Because again, I'm always looking to acquire more businesses and get them kind of under an umbrella company, and it just seems like the way to do it. Because if I can buy their cash flow and get their customer base, it lends to that monthly recurring revenue just more, because the customers will now have 2 music stores that they really like, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 music stores that they really like. And so that's why I like the idea of purchasing it. Not only are you purchasing the equipment and the location and the demand, but you're purchasing the customer base, which you can upsell a monthly recurring revenue subscription to from that education component we were talking about in the beginning. Last question I would ask is, how can we make this more scalable? Again, we talked about the community portion of it, the e-learning portion of it, and this exclusive access to, artists, equipment, events, and content. Can that make it scalable and turnkey, or is there another way to make this scalable? Finally, how much can the industry absorb? I have no idea how big the music business is. I'm sure I could Google this a little bit and learn, but what are the biggest players in the space doing, and how can we position ourselves to actually be able to take market share from them and then get acquired by them? Because that will lead to, a big exit, and that's what we're looking for. Big exits that can fund our next business ventures, that can eventually fund the impact we're trying to make. So that's what we got for you guys today on the show. Thank you so much for watching. We will see you on the next one. And remember, we are a community of people judged not by our wealth, but by our impact.